Fake HOA ordered me off my land. Then my tactical team arrived fully armed. You don't forget the moment someone tells you to get off your own land, especially when you bled for the right to stand on it. I'm Major Reese Lawson, retired, U.S. Army, formerly with the 160th SOAR. These days I keep a low profile. My farm outside Wren County, Tennessee is a quiet patch of heaven, fenced, solar-powered with an armory-turned-workshop and a security system you'd expect from someone who spent a few tours in bad places. I moved back home after my last rotation, took a job training elite law enforcement units across the Southeast, built a life nothing flashy, just peace, steel, and discipline. Then came Karen, Hemming's self-appointed HOA queen of the newly built Wrenwood Meadows. I wasn't part of it, not zoned, not even bordering it. But that didn't stop her from knocking one morning with a neon clipboard and a frown sharp enough to cut barbed wire. "Hello," she sniffed. "We're doing a compliance sweep." I stared at her. "You're on my land." She ignored me, glanced at my flagpole. "The shed, the gravel driveway, that trailer in back violates visual code, and we've had noise complaints." "Noise?" I asked. "We think your tactical drills are disturbing the community." I didn't respond. I just shut the door. But she wasn't done. The next week, a letter showed up taped to my gate. Final notice. It claimed I was in violation of neighborhood security protocols, that my fencing created a psychological barrier of intimidation, that I had 7 days to vacate. I laughed until 3 men in black, tactical-style uniforms showed up mid-afternoon, broad daylight boots crunching up my gravel path. No real law insignias, just Wrenwood security enforcement patches. One carried zip ties, another had a clipboard with printed eviction protocols. All of it fake. "Sir," the leader barked, "you've ignored multiple notices. You are hereby ordered to leave the premises pending HOA resolution." I smiled. Then I looked at my watch. Right on time. "You boys might want to turn around." They didn't. So I tapped the comms mic clipped to my collar and said, "Full posture, sweep in." The rumble hit first. 2 blacked-out SUVs came tearing down the hill, flanking fast and tight. Doors popped open. 6 of my guys fanned out body armor, eye protection, full kits. No weapons drawn, but every movement, smooth, rehearsed, intimidating in the way only real operators can be. The 3 HOA goons turned pale. One actually dropped the clipboard. My lead officer, Jenkins, strode forward. "You impersonating law enforcement on government reserve training grounds," they stammered. One tried to say, "We're just enforcing." "This isn't your jurisdiction," I cut in, stepping forward. "This is private land, legally purchased, county approved, and federally contracted." Karen's SUV screeched to a halt behind them. She jumped out in heels, still clutching that same damn clipboard. "Stop this, you're escalating things. This is a civil HOA matter." Jenkins raised a brow. "Ma'am, are you their commanding officer? I'm the neighborhood president. You're trespassing," I said. "And your team just attempted an unlawful detainment on federal designated training land." They tried to retreat, but by then 3 sheriff cruisers had rolled in. Called by my assistant an hour earlier, I handed the sheriff my camera footage, HOA threats, and a copy of the forged eviction order. The sheriff whistled low. "This is serious." Karen was cited for criminal trespass, impersonation, and conspiracy to intimidate. Her officers were arrested, their fake badges confiscated, in the Wrenwood HOA. They held an emergency vote that night. Karen was ousted. Permanently, but the best part. My guys stayed for a cookout afterward. We grilled steaks under the stars, while neighbors watched from a distance, whispering about what they just witnessed. And me, I sat back with my boots on the porch rail, sipping sweet tea just as curled at my feet. Sometimes you don't have to shout. Sometimes you just have to let the real team roll in. Because power doesn't come from fake uniforms. It comes from the truth and the strength to defend it. Part 2. My name is Travis Kane, and last month I let a woman with a clipboard ruin my life. I wasn't always a joke in a polo shirt. I used to be a security guard at the mall. Graveyard shift, decent hours, no drama. Then I lost that job when the company cut hours. Bills piled up, my pride slipped. That's when Karen found me. She called it an elite local enforcement unit, said we'd be keeping the peace, said it was legal. She had laminated charts, custom patches. She even printed badges. You'll wear the vest, drive the Ridge truck, help me clean up the community, and I'll make sure the HOA funds your salary. It felt real, felt like authority, until it didn't. That day at the ranch, I should have walked away the moment I saw the barbed fencing, the moment the man Reese stepped out and didn't flinch. But I didn't. I followed orders. I thought we were right. And then the black SUVs came. And 6 men stepped out without raising a single weapon, yet made us feel like children in Halloween costumes. I knew we'd crossed into something bigger than us. And Karen, she kept yelling about property rights, waving her clipboard like it was a shield. I saw one of the sheriff's deputies laugh under his breath. They didn't cuff me right away. They let me sweat, and honestly, I deserved that. But what broke me was when Karen said loud in front of the sheriff, Travis and them, I barely know them. They volunteered. She threw me away like trash. I lost my apartment the next week, got charged with impersonation, but they cut me a deal because I cooperated. I gave them everything: emails, printed bylaws, texts where she coached us to use words like detainment and code enforcement. The DA's building a case. Karen went silent, deleted her socials, got subpoenaed anyway. I've been picking up work where I can. No more badges, no more fake titles, just me trying to rebuild. I saw Reese last week at the local gas station. Thought he'd ignore me, but he looked me in the eye, handed me a folded paper, and said, if you're serious about turning it around, we do veteran de-escalation training every other weekend. Come watch or come train. I still haven't shown up. But that invitation, that was real. Unlike the uniform Karen gave me. Part 3, Karen Hemmings had never seen her name trending before. Not until one Sherkusher clipboard. Karen started blowing up on Twitter the day after her fake HOA operation collapsed on Reese Lawson's ranch. Someone uploaded drone footage of the black SUVs circling her officers and the sheriff's units arriving. Someone else posted a mashup of her screaming, "This is a civil HOA matter," with Reese unzipping his jacket to reveal his special ops insignia. TikTok had a field day. Within 48 hours, she was viral. Within 72, she was subpoenaed, her inbox filled with threats. The HOA board stripped her of any voting power. The community center removed her portrait from the volunteer wall. News vans parked outside her cul-de-sac, and Karen. She went silent. At first, she tried to spin it. I was trying to protect property values. She told Channel 6. I had no idea those men would be so aggressive. But then leaked emails hit the press. Karen instructing her patrol to use language that implies enforcement. Karen printing mock violations. Karen creating eviction notices with the HOA's stolen logo. She was cornered, and that's when she did something no one expected. She cried on air. I thought I was doing the right thing. She sniffed during a court-ordered community forum. I thought I was keeping the neighborhood safe. Silence until one voice rose from the back row. You thought kicking a war veteran off his land was safety. It was Mrs. Galvez, retired nurse widow and HOA member from the original board. She wasn't shouting, but the room shook with her words. You humiliated this town. You made us look cruel. You made me afraid of speaking Spanish in my own driveway because you once told me it was too loud. Karen tried to speak, but her throat seized. The forum didn't end with a resolution, but it ended with Karen walking out alone. Her name stayed on the news for weeks. The DA considered pressing felony impersonation charges. A civil lawsuit loomed. Travis Kane's testimony buried her credibility. Even her own attorney advised her to settle quietly. But karma came wearing jeans and cowboy boots, because weeks later Reese Lawson posted a public letter. He didn't sue her. He didn't even name her. He simply wrote, some people hide behind clipboards. Others stand behind truth. I'll keep building my ranch. You decide what kind of neighbor you want to be. It went viral, and Karen. She left Renwood in the middle of the night, sold the Escalade, deleted every social account. Some say she moved out west. Some say she changed her name. But every now and then, a neighbor still passes by Reese's ranch, salutes the flag out front, and says quietly, good thing the wrong people didn't win this one. Part 4. 3 months had passed since the confrontation at the ranch. Karen Hemmings had disappeared from Renwood. Her house sold below market. The HOA board replaced every policy she'd ever pushed. Her name hadn't been mentioned in weeks until the church food drive. That's when someone saw her wearing a plain hoodie baseball cap pulled low, stacking canned goods in the back corner of the community center. It was Reese who recognized her first. He didn't make a scene. Didn't say a word at all, just kept packing donation bags, watching out of the corner of his eye as she moved like a shadow. Quiet, no clipboard, no orders, just there. Later that day, he asked the center coordinator, Miss June, about her. Goes by K. Now, Miss June said, didn't want to cause waves. She came to me 2 weeks ago, said she owed something back. Didn't ask for money, just work. Reese nodded slowly. The next Saturday, she was there again, sorting toiletries, silent sleeves, rolled eyes down. And then came the moment the town held its annual Veterans for Youth Day, a community gathering to honor veterans and connect them with young people. Reese was invited to speak. He stood at the podium in boots and a clean button-up, the flag waving gently behind him. When he finished, a teen raised her hand. Sir, how do you forgive people who try to ruin you? Reese looked at the crowd, then right at Karen standing in the back, half hidden behind a water table. I don't forgive people because they ask. He said, I forgive because hate doesn't build fences or feed kids, and because second chances are rarer than they should be. Karen's eyes brimmed. After the crowd cleared, she approached slowly, clutching a folder. Reese didn't move. She began, then stopped. These are the original documents, permits, HOA maps, the ones I edited. He took them, flipped through. She whispered, I know it won't undo what I did, but I want to help fix it quietly. For real this time, Reese nodded once. Then start with that family over there. He pointed to a young couple unloading supplies. She did that day. No one cheered for Karen. No one clapped, but no one yelled either. It was the beginning. Months later, Renwood's community rulebook was rewritten from scratch. This time it was built with input from every neighborhood, ranchers, veterans, immigrants, old and young. And when the bylaws were finally ratified, Reese handed Karen a pen. You were the problem, he said. Now you can help be the solution. She didn't smile, but her hands didn't shake when she signed. Sometimes justice comes with sirens and court orders. Other times it comes with silence, sweat, and showing up anyway. Because redemption doesn't erase the past, it rewrites what comes next. February 1, the end.